And Jim.
And welcome back to another Meteorology Monday.
Today we are going to talk about two things. Number one, we're going to talk about Hurricanes Eta and Iota and compare the two. And we've got a couple of videos that we want to share as well. And the second thing we want to talk about is what happens when Greek lettered hurricanes or tropical systems, what happens when they cause a lot of destruction and they need to be retired. What's the process? So we're going to talk about those two things today.
The big question of 2020, you know, amongst other things. Now we have to deal with retiring Greek planes, potentially. So, Hurricanes Eta and Iota were pretty significant hurricanes, especially since it's November.
That's right.
And we're kind of ticking down the last few days of hurricane season here. And we just had two back-to-back major hurricanes hit pretty much the same area. So let's talk about some of these record-breaking facts that these two hurricanes did. Number one is that these hurricanes hit 13 days apart. 13 days. And not only did it hit 13 days apart, but it hit like 15 miles apart as well. Talk about, I mean, these hurricanes this year are just nailing the same spots. First Louisiana, now Nicaragua.
And they were major hurricanes.
Major hurricanes. They were both Cat 4s when they hit. And Iota was actually 2 miles per hour away from being a Cat 5 when it made landfall.
That's
right. Which is like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Now we did have earlier in the season two tropical systems hit Louisiana, but that was separated by a greater distance.
Yeah.
And both of them were significantly weaker than what Eta and Iota were.
Yeah.
Not to diminish the impact to Louisiana, but I mean, in Nicaragua, 15 miles apart. And I think Eta was 140 miles an hour and Iota was 155 miles an hour, something like that.
Yeah. 13
days apart.
I mean, you're November. Like, this is the end of the Atlantic hurricane season. Like, there's not supposed to be anything but like a weak tropical depression that kind of does something and then falls off the face of the earth. There's not supposed to be Cat 5 hurricanes in the middle of the Atlantic. Like, what in the world is happening?
2020.
Two more things about this hurricane, Iota in particular, is that in 24 hours, it gained over 100 miles per hour. I believe it went from weak Cat 1 at like 80 miles per hour to a strong Cat 5 at like 160 miles per hour. That's insane. 24 hours, guys. It took it from a Cat 1 to a Cat 5. That's only been done like a few other times in history. That's...
Other times I can think of were 2005 when we had a big crazy season as well, going into the Greek alphabet.
Yep. There may have been another one that was crazy, but it escapes me. The other fact being that this is only the second time in history that we have had a Category 5 hurricane in November. In the Atlantic.
In the Atlantic Basin.
Everything we're talking about today is the Atlantic. The Pacific's a whole typhoon, super typhoon, that's a whole different thing. But for the Atlantic, this is insane. The second time on record. What else? I mean, are we gonna get like a Cat 17 going like in a week or two? I don't know what's happening.
So Iota wound up being the 30th named storm of 2020 in the Atlantic Basin, and was it the strongest? I know it was the strongest in November.
But I think it was one of the, if not the strongest, like the second strongest hurricane of the 2020 season. I don't think, there was one other Cat 5, but did it reach 160?
I don't remember exactly, and sometimes I get
pretty strong too.
Sometimes my hurricanes kind of get blurred from one year to another.
There's 30 hurricanes. It's hard to keep track of them all.
And I've read that this was the most amount of storms record keeping in the Atlantic Basin for a hurricane season. And the next one in line was 2005, where we had, I think it was 27 or 28 named systems. 27
or 28, yeah, fact check from a previous video of ours. So yes, we have far surpassed the 2005 record-breaking season. In 2005, far surpassed like the season below that. So we're just like in totally different waters here.
And there's actually another one that could possibly form down in that same area. So it ain't over yet. Could get stuff into December. You just don't know.
November 30th is the official end, but it's 2020, so the official end will be December 31st. Am I right?
At 11:59 and 59 seconds p.m.
And then we're just gonna start the 2021 hurricane season because I'm sure that'll be something.
That's right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a look at a few clips that we see on YouTube that talks about Hurricane Eta, Hurricane Iota. There's one video in particular, someone did a great job of actually putting together the actual track, the wind speed, and the satellite imagery associated with it. We're going to take a look at that, and it's just really cool. And when we see the Iota, the Hurricane Iota track, it's actually overlaid on top of the Eta track, so you'll see how in proximity they are.
Boom, look at that.
And then
Look
it
at that
rapidly
eye.
intensifies.
Yep.
Right there as it's getting closer to the coastline.
Takes a right.
Yeah, it takes a right turn.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and just because Eta couldn't die, let's just follow it all the way up into the Gulf of Mexico, over the Caribbean. Let's take out part of Florida a few times.
There's Cuba, there's the Keys.
Wasn't this like Ivan? Didn't Ivan do this? I think the entire Gulf of Mexico was spinning. Do a loop-de-loop. Took out Florida once, let's take it out again.
There you go.
60-something miles per hour still. Wow.
Now here's Iota.
Super hurricane! Wow.
So there's the Eta track just below it.
10 mile per hour. Impressive. Takes a right turn and kind of follows Eta. And then watch this. Just shoom! Turns into this monster. Right off the coast too.
Look at that.
170 miles per hour.
That's just crazy. So there's the first video showing the Eta and Iota coming into Nicaragua, 15 miles apart. Incredible.
Absolutely insane. Props to whoever made this video. That was, wow. It's always really cool to see the data all stacked up together, especially when you have two hurricanes that are pretty much the same hurricane, hitting pretty much the same spot.
Yep, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Absolutely. So now we're going to take a look. That was the actual data itself. Now we're going to have boots on the ground data, and that is
Yep.
people actually filming what they experienced.
Yep.
First one's going to be a clip of a roof coming off of one of the houses there.
A typical hurricane video, you know, gotta have the roof flying off. Look at that, the entire thing is gotta...
There you go. Only a matter of time now.
Oh,
There it is.
goodness.
Look at that. Just comes off in just two pieces. Man.
And what about this last one?
So the last video is going to be from the perspective of a boat captain about 40 miles away from the actual center of Iota. But we're going to take a look just to give you an idea what it's like to experience this kind of system in a boat instead of on solid ground.
Nope.
So.
Let's see what happens. Alright, we're on the boat. Wow, look how choppy the ocean is. Wow.
Watch out, you might get hit by something. Wow.
Goodness, just wave after wave.
And that's 40 miles away from the eye. So there you have the 3 clips from Hurricanes Iota and Eta, and I thought it was really interesting to see the overlay there of Eta and Iota in the first clip, and then some of the damage and some of the activity associated with the last 2 clips. It's just amazing.
It's incredible to see. I mean, it's one thing to watch it on a radar or see it on satellite or read about the discussions from the National Hurricane Center, but to actually, see footage of things being destroyed or firsthand on the ocean and the waves coming in, it's just gives you a whole different outlook on what the storm actually is.
That's right.
So now that you've seen that, getting to the part where we talk about the Greek names, obviously those storms were huge. Are we going to be retiring Greek letter names? How does that work? Do we have to move on to a different alphabet? What's up for next year?
That's right. So I took a look at it, and when you have the letters, we use 21 of the English alphabet letters, and we use 24 Greek letters. So that's a total of 45 named storms in a season. So chances of extending into another alphabet is going to be very small, but 2020, we're here at 30, 31,
Potentially 31.
Yeah, that's a lot of storms. But yeah, in terms of, what happens if it's a record type of storm and it needs to be retired and you're in the Greek alphabet? Well, the first time we went into the Greek alphabet in recorded history is 2005. And back in 2005, the World Meteorological Organization got together. They are a group of folks from 193 countries. They are members and associated territories that come together and it's a part of the United Nations, where they share meteorological data, real-time, near real-time, also as well as research. And they sat down and they decided, okay, what are we going to do now that we've experienced going into Greek letters? Do we retire these or what?
We do!
That's right. So basically, they came to an agreement that in order to get to a Greek-lettered storm, it's going to be very infrequent. So what they decided to do is they would have the name as well as the year of the destruction and add it to the list of retired names. But they would keep the name, the Greek-lettered name, in the list every year. But at least you can go back historically and look, and you'll see Iota 2020 or something along those lines. And yes, Iota will be on the list next year. So that's basically the agreement everyone came up with. So there you have it.
There we go. Question answered. As always, if you like what you saw today, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and leave us a comment. And you never want to miss a Meteorology Monday, so do that.
That's right. And you can also visit us out on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, they'll pop up right here, as well as our Patreon page and our website.
Yep, all the links for that will be
down below in the description.
Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And happy... I have not one iota of what I'm going to say next. That went smooth, like butter on a bald monkey. VeggieTales, VeggieTales.